Hello, everyone. My name is Yolanda. I am the founder of Harper Therapy. I'm here with Hobbs. Let's see if we can get Hobbs in the picture. Say hi. There he is. He's doing what he does best. I am coming to you from our offices here in Lutz, Florida, in the Tampa Bay area. And I had posted a little teaser yesterday about the subject of our Facebook Live for today. It was actually a post from Brene Brown, who is an author and researcher, TED Talker extraordinaire. And in it, she wrote, "I've officially deployed the holiday boundary mantra that gives me the courage to say no and ask for what I need. Choose discomfort over resentment. Choose discomfort over resentment. Repeat and repeat and repeat." So I am a trained facilitator of Brene's work, and that was an experiential training. So those of us who were trained went to San Antonio, Texas to do the training. It was an experiential component where we did the work ourselves. And I will never forget, my facilitator's name was Doug, unless it was Dang It Doug, because there were some moments during that training that Doug would make comments and I would say, "Dang it, Doug, you are so right." And one of the things that he said was a chronic state of resentment and tick-offedness means poor boundaries and poor self-care. And that was one of those situations where I was like, "Dang it, Doug, you're so right." And so one of the things that happens during the holiday season is that we have more opportunities to practice recognizing and implementing our own healthy boundaries. We are in the midst of the holiday season, full of potlucks and presents and parties. Oh my. And it is the most wonderful time of the year until it's not. And so oftentimes those difficult interactions with people that we just have complicated relationships with, that is part of what we're facing head on. This year might have brought some significant changes in some relationships, some changes in relationship dynamics, maybe separation or divorce in a marriage, maybe some estrangement with family members or friends. This is the time of the year that we might come into just more contact with people that you otherwise are able to avoid. So let's talk through, like, how do we handle these situations without that chronic state of resentment and tick-offedness. So first, this is super important. In the beginning step for most of this work that we do is to be honest with ourselves about the impact. Just sit down and say, like, what honestly is the impact of these interactions on me? Like, we have to recognize that it does leave us feeling resentful and ticked off. And part of the challenge is, especially this time of year, is that we go into these situations super hopeful that this time will be different than the last. And it just never is. So recognizing that, I've been engaging with this person and in this situation. And each time I do it, I hope that there is a different outcome, and it's not. So we have to be honest with ourselves about that too. A big, super big component of boundary setting is what I call the ick factor. So we're going to check in with ourselves and recognize, hey, what is the ick factor with this situation? Do I walk away from this situation feeling slimy? Do I walk away from this situation just feeling really bad about myself? What is that ick factor? And what are my non-negotiables? What are those things that are just a core of who I am, that if I don't recognize and honor, I'm just going to feel even worse about this situation? So what are those non-negotiables? So what this might look like is having a really hard conversation with Aunt Sally to say, you know, Aunt Sally, when we get together for the holidays, I so look forward to just hanging out with the family and catching up on things. And I've really found that conversations about politics are just not the way that I want to spend my family time. We often avoid these conversations because they're hard to have. So, you know, but that doesn't serve us well. It doesn't allow us to recognize who we are and stand in our truth and speak our truth. So having that hard conversation to say, hey, Aunt Sally, I totally recognize that you are super passionate about politics, but that is not in my wheelhouse. And so I just want to let you know ahead of time that when the conversation shifts in that direction, I'm just not going to participate in it. And then take action for yourself. Have a plan. Maybe step out of the environment. Go for a walk. Do what you need to do to take care of yourself. And then just kind of check in with yourself as you go along through that process. And really celebrate the fact that you were able to do the hard thing. So here at Harper Therapy, we have a little bit of a tradition. We have a really scientific intervention, and that intervention is called the cowbell. And so in our practice, when someone does something out of the norm, something really brave and courageous, like have these hard conversations, we celebrate the wins. We celebrate doing things a little bit differently. So go ahead and celebrate that and ring your own cowbell and celebrate that step towards speaking your truth, and just cultivating that healthier relationship. You know, I had someone say to me recently that they didn't recognize how important being authentic is, and also, hi, thank you. I'm glad that you're finding it helpful. So she didn't recognize the importance of authenticity. She didn't recognize the importance of boundary setting. But she said, you know, it really makes my relationships not as complicated and not as overwhelming. And that really is the factor. Like we don't put boundaries in our relationships because we're afraid of how the other person would respond. But really, it's the most respectful way to interact with people, especially the relationships that are most important, because otherwise people don't know what we need. So I'm here to cheer you on and support you in doing the hard thing, having the hard conversations, speaking your truth, taking good care of yourself throughout the holidays, whatever that looks like, and recognize the importance of rest and play during this time too. So just wanted to share with you a little bit. Hope that was helpful. Happy holidays to everyone. Enjoy your time with family and friends. Enjoy your time off. And we will see you next go around. Have a great day.